Also rein geht's in dieses Duell der beiden langjährigen Freunde. Sie sind beide schon seit vielen, vielen Jahren bei der PDC, auch er seit über 10 Jahren mit auf dem PDC-Circuit am Start, hat 7 Pro-Tour-Turniere in seiner Karriere gewinnen können. Den letzten Sieg, den gab es allerdings 2011, vor 5 Jahren, liegt also schon ein Weilchen zurück. Und so ist er auch in der Weltrangliste ein bisschen abgesackt. Aktuell steht er auf Weltranglistenplatz Nummer 60. Wir freuen uns auf den Pieman A.Smith. A.Smiths Gegner steht aktuell auf Weltranglistenplatz Nummer 16. Ein Mann, der zig Pro-Tour-Titel eingefahren hat, der in 9 Major-Finals stand. Und er trägt seinen Spitznamen, weil er aus einer Region kommt, die für die Stierzucht bekannt ist. Die Rede ist von The Bull, Terry Jenkins.
Two best mates on stage here at Halle 39 in Hildesheim for the Happy Bet German Darts Championship. As the Bull, Terry Jenkins, the 9-time major finalist and a former finalist on the European Tour, takes on the Pieman A.Smith, the spherical darting genius from the West Midlands. And the man who, well, he's looking to make the last 16 of a ranking tournament for the first time in 18 months. Can you believe that? The Pieman just not really been doing a great deal for quite some time. Maybe the tide is turning in favour of Pie this weekend. We've got this one and then 2 more for the afternoon session as the number 4 seed Ian White takes on Kevin Painter, who's chasing a place at the European Championship, and Cristo Reyes, the top player from Spain, will face Benito van der Pas, the number 7 seed in the game after this. But we've already seen 3 seeded players knocked out this afternoon: Gerwyn Price, Simon Whitlock, and the most recent one, Stephen Bunting, all falling in their first game here on the Saturday when the seeded players enter the fray. The big names on the way tonight, the likes of Michael van Gerwen, Peter Wright, Kim Huybrechts, amongst others. But Terry Jenkins, the number 11 seed here this weekend, is hoping to put one over on his mate.
First leg is Andy to throw first. Game on.
I'm Dan Dawson in the commentary box. Paul Nicholson alongside me as the Pieman strolls majestically to the oche to get this one underway.
Strolls majestically. Andy the Pieman Smith. Well, the algebra is as such. 6 times pi equals victory. So friendly, they've even got the same colour shirts on. Bit of blue,
96.
bit of white. It's like a derby match again, just like we had with the West Boys last night.
Yeah, it really is.
I like the way Andy's wearing his shirt. It's very Steve Beaton-esque, isn't it?
That is a Harry Hill collar he's got going on there.
100.
Very impressive. These two have a combined age of 102. Now, at the other end of the spectrum,
85.
we've got the development tour going on. And the first one of 3 this weekend, and then the last 64, the World Youth Championship. Dean Reynolds, he's in the final. It's no surprise. He is now guaranteed to finish top of the development
100.
tour order of merit as a result. But look who he's playing in the final. Young Justin van Tergouw. And his debut on the development tour. This lad has been pulling
100.
up trees, a young Dutchman. Same birthday as Raymond van Barneveld. Omens. He could be the real deal, you know. We'll keep you updated on that as we get the news from... Is it Wigan they're playing in?
I think it is.
140.
One of the homes of World Darts.
It is, well, one of the many. But the Pieman has left 61 after 12 here as he looks to get a hold
60.
of throw.
And he requires 61.
And claim the first leg against his best mate in darts. Double 18, he loves double 18, does the Pieman. Fill your boots.
25.
Well, these guys are so
Terry
close. They use
Jenkins,
very similar darts as well. Not one groove on that stage. The only groove he wants is to hit a 160. Ooh, so close.
80, Andy require 36.
Well, that was a bit friendly, Terry. We can't have that. Andy Smith, double 80, does like double 18. You're right, Dan.
Game shot on
There
the
it
first
is.
leg. Andy Smith.
And that's a great segue for me because I remember when he played in a final before the European Tour started. It was in Germany. And he played Colin Lloyd in the final.
180.
Played Lloydie in a final and he had 96 left. He covered the treble 20 and it went double 18, double top. Upset Mr. Lloyd, that shot. Really did. But Pyman went on to win that weekend.
100.
He has won a handful of PDC titles, Pyman. He was always he was always good for picking up one a year. He wasn't prolific,
45.
but he'd have his days, and on those days he could beat anybody.
And that was his thing. He would always qualify via getting a victory and a few really good runs together. It just hasn't panned out that way over the course of the last 4 years.
60.
Because people have been getting better. It's not necessarily because Andy Smith has been getting worse. And it makes, on the other side of the coin, what Terry Jenkins has been doing even more impressive.
Yeah.
Because people have been getting better, so has he.
134.
Yeah, he has. And in fact, Terry won the most recent win for Terry in terms of a PDC title was last September. He won a Players' Championship event in Barnsley. It was actually the last time he played Pyman. He beat him on the way to the title. He ended up beating Peter Wright in the final. Beat Pyman in the last 32, I think it was.
42.
Is that Norman?
Well, it could be. He's not won a European Tour event as Terry Jenkins. Made the final in Gibraltar last year.
65.
And he did make a final in Barnsley just in August, not very long ago. He's always there and thereabouts, Terry Jenkins.
I was talking to you just now when we were talking about next year's venues. And someone ordered a Terry in the taxi this morning. Flies back on the board.
Oh, he nearly got him,
Andy.
He nearly got him, the Pyman.
No, and Andy probably would have put that fly in the barbecue. Tops for TJ. Tops it is.
Shot on the second
No
leg.
flies on that
Terry
one.
Jenkins. Third leg is
Yeah, we were
Andy
talking to Terry this
first.
morning in the cab.
Game on.
And they were saying about next year's venues on the European Tour. And one of them might be near an old railway site. And he said, oh, have they got any old tack there? He's always on the hunt for a
100.
bargain.
He is.
And he said, you know what? I might enter that one. So Terry Jenkins.
He's always looking for a way
140.
to make a quick buck, is Terry Jenkins. I think that's a big reason why he's still playing the game, because at times he has seemed disillusioned with the game of darts. But he just loves money. And there's more money in darts now than
60.
ever. He's not going to walk away from it. He's ranked in the top 60 in the world, for crying out loud. You don't get there and stay there unless you've got the skills
26.
to pay the bills.
He's got a lot of intellectual fortitude, Terry Jenkins. I mean, I remember him talking to me about 6 months ago about £2 coins. He said, always look at the £2 coins in your pocket because it might be worth more than £2.
60.
He told me about one on eBay for 40 quid. I mean, how do you get to know this stuff? He's just very, very smart. And very good dart player too.
Yeah, smart darts from Terry Jenkins gets himself down to a finish. 8-3 the head-to-head stats in Terry's favour. But Pyman, I mean, that meeting last September, that was their only meeting in the last 3 years. But even when you look at the historic ones, Pyman won their very first meeting way back in 2004 at the Sun Parks Masters. The only other two wins are in the Championship League as Terry. Look at this. Ooh.
136.
Well, he will be back, and he'll get 2 more darts for the leg.
There was an argument there for splitting that and just leaving something that he likes. But nothing wrong with a bit of aggression. 19s now. Or not.
60. Teddy require 90.
Well, he's had a look there and still gone for the wrong number.
Might be academic if he hits double 8.
3
Well,
score.
now it might be costly.
A little smirk from Pyman. He's just realised what's happened there.
And he's got the first treble as well. Never mind. Terry coming back for double 8.
Teddy requires
Take the
60.
third leg. And this will be a break of throw. Double four. Still double four.
12 score.
And now Andy Smith
Andy requires
is coming back for
66.
66. He probably resigned himself to this leg being over a couple of visits ago. But now we can steal it. Like you say, he likes double 18. Well, I sincerely hope he likes it now.
There's no real help to him.
Oh,
it's perfect though, isn't it? And that is a real steal for Andy Smith. He was way back there.
Well, of all the dart players on the circuit, I think Terry Jenkins is probably the one person who doesn't like to have his pocket pinched.
121.
Did you know that Terry Jenkins has a wedding car business?
I did not, no.
I've actually been in his garage at his home in Ledbury. He got me a tractor chair. Great darts from the pie man. Thumbs up.
Oh,
and
single gilding. Single gilding from the pie man.
Touche.
Oh, back at ya. Third 180 for Terry Jenkins. We're already well over the 100 mark in this tournament.
Yeah, I went down to visit Terry a couple of years ago, and he's got some old Fords fully converted into wedding cars.
I bet they're fancy ones. I bet it's not old Ford Capris either, is it?
Oh, no, we're talking sort of Model T style stuff from the 30s and 40s. Done them all himself.
100.
And he's working on another one right now, I believe.
He's something of a Renaissance man, Terry Jenkins. His interests are many and varied.
He's the kind of bloke you'd want to see on American Pickers. Because he's just got a lot of stuff.
41. Teddy require 100.
All he wants now is to pick off this 100. Leaves his favourite double top. Doesn't mind 10s either. I'll tell you what, he's missing his doubles. And he's looking to the heavens for some inspiration. And it's the same sort of situation that he was in the last leg. And Andy Smith picked his pocket that time. He might look to do the same again, but he's going to have to rely on Terry missing on double 5.
Yeah, Terry Jenkins. Potential 12-darter last leg, potential 12-darter this leg. Well, potential 11-darter, but
60. Teddy
ended up losing the last one. He can't afford to do the same here. And he doesn't, so he has leveled it up.
Terry Jenkins. Fifth leg is Andy to throw first. Game on.
They are so close, these two. They've got absolutely no qualms about speaking frankly about each other.
83.
Terry has always said of Pye that he's just lazy. Could be so much better than he was. There's so much talent, but he just didn't really put the effort in.
140.
I think Pye would probably go along with that. Although he did, I recall, a few years back, and he was having problems hitting doubles. And he thought, oh, no, I'm going to go and see a hypnotherapist. I've heard people mention this could be a thing.
60.
Went and saw the hypnotherapist. Sat down. Just close your eyes, Andy. Just relax. Half hour later, he woke up. He hadn't been hypnotised, just fell asleep. Terry Jenkins, that is 4 180s for the bull.
Sleep is the best form of meditation you can get.
Yeah, I'm not sure it helped his doubles, but he was well rested.
I thought you were going to say something like he woke up and he was hungry.
41.
Just assume that is a permanent state of affairs with the pie man, a man who has been thrown out of an all-you-can-eat buffet. Although from what I've been told, Terry Jenkins is as much of a danger to the all-you-can-eat
65.
buffet owners of the world as Andy the Pie Man Smith.
Well, here's a ridiculous fact for you. I've already told the story of Andy Smith being thrown out of a Chinese restaurant in Germany because he was eating too much. But that very same restaurant, Peter Manley went to that restaurant and bought
81.
a flamingo that was at the very front of that restaurant because it was called the Flamingo Restaurant. And I still don't, to this day, know how Peter Manley got that home.
Yeah, probably difficult to get it in a hand luggage.
It was on a pretty flimsy leg because flamingos aren't exactly like Arnold Schwarzenegger when it comes to quads.
No. Never a truer word spoken in European Tour darts commentary, ladies and gentlemen. As the Pie Man is a significant way behind Terry Jenkins here. He gets down to a finish, 76. But Jenkins, 8-8 for a 3-2 lead. And the ball is into the lead for the first time. That's a first break of throw.
Six leg.
Terry's just been making a lot less mistakes over the last couple of legs. He's just ramped it up a little bit. And that was a very clinical finish, and that'll give him a bit more confidence on his doubles. And essentially, he likes to go for tops and 10s and 12s, for instance, but the way his darts land, flat and slightly to the right with the flight, doesn't lend itself to being strong down in the 16s and 8s route, but there,
60.
absolutely brilliant.
Well, the standard in general over the course of this tournament so far this weekend has been very, very good. The overall average, the average of averages yesterday, was just up above 90. Now, I don't think we've had an opening day which has been so high, and that's not just down to Steve West averaging 110. It was only 6 legs. There were some very, very good performances for an opening day. We've already seen Dave Pallett firing in the 180s. Darryl Gurney was very impressive. Alan Norris had no problem. Justin Pipel, though his average wasn't great, his finishing was absolutely
100.
lethal. Every single time he got under 100, he took it out. And Terry Jenkins here is also putting in a very strong display against Andy Smith. And there's a number of guys, despite the fact we've seen 3 seeded players knocked out already, there are a number of guys who are still in this tournament who are sticking their hand up and saying,
100.
I'm here to potentially go on and have a run. And with that carrot of potentially, well, definitely making the Grand Slam if you win this weekend, it is one of these tournaments where it is not just 25
94.
grand you win by going on and claiming the title. It is several £1,000s more for making the European Championship and then making the Grand Slam. And potentially it could help you get into the World Championship or any number of other things. Push you up the ranking to get in all these other Euro Tour events this year. It is something that can snowball into a very, very lucrative weekend for you. Double 6 for 4-2 for Terry Jenkins. There it is.
6 leg. Terry Jenkins.
Space it is for the ball. He's charging. Hyman's got to eat his way through the gap of 2 legs. But we have some breaking news. Dean Reynolds has won the first development tour of today against Justin Van Turger, who I'm reliably informed was born in the year 2000. Doesn't that make you sick? 4-3 in the final. Oof. So he's tested Reynolds, which is very, very good.
Oh, my word.
There's no rest for those guys into development tour 2 of the day, and we will keep you posted for the rest of this Saturday.
Very, very interesting, I have to say. I've been looking forward to seeing Justin Van Turgo making his development tour debut, and what a debut it has proven to be. 1 leg away from winning against a man who has dominated the development tour and who will win the development tour Order of Merit. He can't be caught, so, I mean, he could take a tour card and be playing full PDC darts next year. It'd be very interesting to see what his decisions are and whether he can make that step up. We know that it is not always smooth sailing for those who do well on the development tour and then make the step up. It is a very tough school.
90.
PDC darts. You're playing against Terry Jenkins and Alan Norris and Darryl Gurney day in, day out.
There's still the possibility of Dean Reynolds playing at the World Championships this year.
Yes.
He might have his choice. An interesting choice that is, because he's played well wherever he's played this year.
Very impressive individual.
Back to this game, though. Hyman's eating into that gap between the 2 players. 86 left, 200 behind Terry Jenkins.
96. Under your
Feel this is a must-win leg, and he's done well to get down under 100 after 12. Very steady stuff. 82. Choices, bull or treble 14.
It's interesting because there, I would have advocated using the bullseye, because even if you don't hit it, you hit the 25, then you just go single 17, you've got 3 clear darts at a double. Whereas now, he's only going to get 2 darts at a double when he returns. Had Terry Jenkins been on a finish, then treble 14 for double top would be the right one, because you've got a bigger target and it has to go that visit.
And you require 48.
Now, if he misses this 48 now, could be in loads of trouble. Mind you, it's all in his own hands. And nothing wrong with that.
Andy Smith.
4-3.
Terry to throw first.
Terry has that break. He holds here. He holds all the cards.
Oh, what a way to start the leg.
140.
Imagine having a poker game with Terry Jenkins. If he was a bit down, he'd just say, well, I'll throw in a car. I'll throw in a house. He's got more houses than I've had meals in the last couple of months.
Probably not as many as Pieman's had, but there's a maximum. A second one for the Pieman, 6 for this game in total. Well, maybe 7.
140.
They've got very similar philosophies when it comes to scoring heavily. Andy Smith is one of those guys who plants the first dart and then plots his way around the flight. So if he gets it in just like that second dart there, he's looking at nestling it on top, but he can get it side to side. A lot of guys like Dave Pallett, for instance, and Dave Chisnell look at just hitting him underneath. But Terry Jenkins and Andy Smith are
100.
two guys who like to nestle the flights together and utilize bigger flights to get things close together. And that's one of the reasons why people like Chisnell, Anderson, Van Gerwen, they all have big flights. Big scorers need nestling. That's something we can maybe talk about later in the weekend.
Certainly, it's
Then you require 121.
it was fascinating to see how these guys chop and change their equipment and what they use to try and get the best out of themselves. Certainly, you listen to Rod Harrington, who's commentated on many Euro Tours, and he will literally say, just aim at the flights. You're not thinking about the target itself. You've got this massive kite or diamond to aim at. Just
41.
use it, it'll funnel it down there. It's a particular skill that to be able to do that, because you're not aiming at the board, you're a good, 5-6 inches away potentially.
Yeah, you're increasing your target. If you look at the pivot point in the flight with Andy Smith, it's a little flight protector at the top. You can pick your V
100. Then you
as
require
to, go
80.
underneath or over the top and just let it nestle together.
Double 10 for 5-3. And he misses
60.
twice. And the Pieman,
Andy, you require
massive
98.
opportunity to break back and make it 4-4. Terry Jenkins looked to be in control of this game. You can see him at the back, so frustrated. Double 19 for Andy Smith for 4-4 to turn this game around. That
Shot
is
of the
clinical.
flag. Andy Smith. 9 flag is Andy to throw first. Game on.
Well, he flicks Terry Jenkins a smile and he smiles back, but I guarantee you he's thinking, oh, you little so-and-so.
Why do they always do it against me, eh? I think Terry Jenkins has probably said that to me about a dozen times.
It's a mark of respect, Terry.
60.
People know you're good. They want to take you out.
Oh, that's a key bit there. Terry Jenkins has missed a few more doubles. He's scored more heavily than Andy Smith. He has
81.
bought himself those opportunities, but he's not quite scored heavily enough to get enough opportunities with the way he's finishing to be in charge of this match right now, because the Pieman has won the last 2 legs to come from 4-2 down. He has the throw in 2 of the remaining 3.
60.
Back-to-back 60s. Opens the door, though. This is still anybody's game.
Have you seen any old pictures of Andy Smith, Dan?
There's one on the
81.
wall of the lakeside where he's got curly hair, which, I'll be honest, is spectacular.
It's a beauty.
It is. It is a beaut.
It's almost as beautiful as the 1995 Peter Wright from Lakeside.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. If I had those
69.
photos in miniature, I would carry them around in my wallet. They mean that much to me.
Now, Terry Jenkins hasn't changed much in the last 20 years.
No.
He's had the same haircut.
66.
He's lost the moustache.
The tash has come and gone a number of times.
That got shaved off for charity. So we've got to give Terry a lot of credit for that, because he had that moustache for over 2 decades. And then it went on a charity night.
Another way Terry Jenkins has found to make a few quid.
43.
This time for a good cause, rather than... Well, I'm sure we would argue that the Terry Jenkins bank account fund is a very good cause, but this one was for probably something a little bit more worthy.
95.
I think somebody bought the clippings, So somebody in the
For
world
what reason?
owns Terry Jenkins' moustache.
Wow. Some sort of voodoo reason?
Yeah, it's probably some sort
100.
of Silence of the Lambs 7 type worship person has got that moustache.
I'm not sure if I find it
58.
comforting or slightly perturbing that somebody may have a shrine to Terry Jenkins somewhere.
I don't know. I think that's quite plausible.
Right, I think that's very possible. Oh, this is going to be a heck of a setup shot from the Pieman. Yeah, really good.
Terry require 120.
Shanghai finish. Big moment in this game. Terry Jenkins. Oh, he stuck it in the one. That is no good to him. That is no good to him. And Pieman.
And you require 40.
Well, he's got looking at double top, but even if he doesn't take it out, that 21 from Terry Jenkins, a very lazy last start, means he would have to use all 3 if he returns to the board. Will he return to the board? No, he will not. Andy Smith is one leg away from knocking out his mate for his first win over Terry Jenkins in more than 3 years, and only his 4th win in total.
140.
Well, Terry's going to try his utmost to make sure that doesn't happen. But this, you've got to think this is partly Terry's fault and partly the brilliance of Andy Smith. That setup shot was sensational.
Well, it was the scoring early on in the game that allowed Terry Jenkins to boss this one. He hit 4 180s in consecutive legs and going 3-2 up. Then he hit a 15 darter for 4-2. But since then, his level has dropped and the Pieman has just stepped it up a notch. It is 3 consecutive legs that the Pieman has taken. But
100.
Terry Jenkins knows a hold of throw here takes us down to a decider, and if we do go to a decider, it is anybody's. And it looks like that's maybe, yeah, it's probably what's happening now. Maximum to leave a 2-darter.
Well, when he needed it, he has brought it. And Smithy all of a sudden needs a maximum. Only thing he can do is leave a finish, and doesn't. So Terry Jenkins has some breathing room in this 10th leg. Get rid of this quickly, which he can still do on double 10.
90.
And he's furious with himself.
Yeah.
That's the 2nd time he's gone for double 10, and it's been a good inch inside.
Yeah, that is a big miss in darting terms. And if the Pieman, a 177 here, something like that, a 140 would be all right. Or maybe he looks at the bullseye here to knock that extra 5 off. Yeah, that's what he does, and it leaves him a 2-darter. Double 5. Oh, we are going all the way, and the 2 best mates, they can only be separated by an 11th and deciding leg. The Pieman has the throw in it.
Well, for me, Pieman looks the slightly calmer of the 2. I've had some good legs in this match. Terry Jenkins' winning legs have all been 15 and better, which is stunning.
It's those scrappy legs that have gone the way of the Pieman, though, isn't it? You know, a 20, a 21, 16, a 17. There's nothing wrong with those, but it's still 6 visits to the board as compared to the 5 visits that Terry Jenkins has won his in. Terry Jenkins needs to find another 5-visit leg, and even then it might not be enough.
100.
But he has stolen a march on the Pieman, and he's back in the treble again. Well, maybe he's saving his best leg for last, Terry Jenkins. Maybe he is. He's rediscovered the maximums from earlier on in the game, and he's 6 now for the bull.
That first start was perfect, wasn't it? It was begging for a 180. And when he starts finding the bottom of that 60, just like Taylor from a few years ago, and currently,
81.
Yeah. Well, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Cardiff.
He gets very dangerous. There it is again, right in the bottom half of it. Another one. Oh, he's on Dream Street now. 2-darter, Andy Smith needing a big score under prayer.
Well, Terry Jenkins, I quite like that last start in the 25 because it gets him to under 80. And it means that he should get at least
40.
1 dart at tops. It could get a bit messy if he hits the treble. That's the weird thing. Maybe he's quite happy with 20 for tops. Tops it is for the match.
39.
But he will return.
I'm guaranteeing you right now we went for a single 19 there. Last thing you want to do is mess around with double 11. Single 19. Your opponent's not on a finish. Single 19, 20. Go for tops. If you don't, you're coming back for a really good, clean target that you love in tops. Good thinking, Terry Jenkins, for me.
45.
Oh, that is a nightmare last start. He'd made it hard for himself. Smith not down to a finish. This is Terry Jenkins. Game over. Game over, man. There it is,
Short
6-5.
and
He breaks in the
Terry
decider.
Jenkins.
Terry Jenkins sees off his best mate, Andy Smith. Jenkins will face either Mark Webster or Michael Smith in the last 16 tomorrow as they fight it out for a place in the quarterfinals. We've got 2 more games for you this afternoon. Ian White and Kevin Painter duking it out in the final one. But coming up next, it's the top player from Spain, Cristo Reyes, against the number 7 seed, Benito van der Plas.
Terry Jenkins mit einem knappen 6:5 Erfolg über seinen Kumpel Andy Smith. Andy, is it easier to lose a match against a very good friend?
Yeah, it's very hard playing your best mate. I mean, we come together, we travel together. He's my best friend. It's hard, you know what I mean? It's hard for him, it's hard for me, but he was a better player. And he deserves it.
Thank you very much. Andy sagt, es ist schwierig, gegen seinen besten Kumpel zu spielen. Sie reisen viel auf der Tour, sie spielen viele Exhibitions. Aber Terry, war heute der bessere Spieler. Jetzt verteilt er brav hier ein paar Schäfte. No problem. Congratulations, Terry. I just said to Andy, is it difficult to play a very good friend, probably the best friend on the circuit?
Oh, definitely. To be honest, I wouldn't have minded if I lost that game. I mean, Andy's he's been a friend of mine for years, and we've travelled the circuit together and come up the rankings. And it is very difficult to play like. I'd have rather played Michael van Gerwen today than Andy. Yeah, definitely.
So happy with the game. A strong last leg. There was a good one. You had problems in the beginning of the match.
I know. Yeah, I missed a few silly doubles and should have took control of the game earlier on and got behind, but I wasn't too worried. I thought just keep relaxed, and the doubles went for me.
Okay, see you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Terry Jenkins, the bull.